Radio. As you can tell, we had some technical difficulties this morning, and Abby isn't able to get on. So I am going to be leading the show this morning. I'm Alyssa Williamson. As Abby introduced earlier in her email, I'm actually one of her intuitive success coaches and have been doing the process with her. So we were excited to chat this morning and share some new and exciting things coming up, but I will do it on my own. So I would love, as always, we love messages, any questions you have. Totally appreciating any of that as well. So, first off, I am Alyssa Williamson. I am a student of the Intuitive Success Club. And what that means is that I started working with Abby because my intuition just called to me. That's really what it came down to. It just felt right to work with her, it just felt like the right thing to do. And I didn't know why. I just met her in the room, saw her across the room. I was like, we have to talk, got her card. And then when we were sitting one to one, I was like, I have to work with you. Like, that's just how your intuition works. But it wasn't always that way because I have a strong intuition, but I'm sure as you're familiar with, it's very easy to override your intuition too and ignore that inner voice and just do what your mind is telling you. And so for years, about 10, 15 years in business, 10 years in business, I often let my mind overrun that. And that is the freedom of intuitive success coaching, is really being able to listen to your inner wisdom, also have your mind, but also be able to put it on the back burner and just say, hey, I don't have to just think everything through. I can feel it. I can live it. I can be in my body and be in my heart. And that really changes the trajectory of my life. And that's what we're excited to announce today is I'm going to be joining Abby as a trainer on the Intuitive Success Coaching program. And distractions so that we can expand it to more people. So what I love about working, yes, ask any questions. What I love about working with Abby is she is so intuitive too and so helpful in the process. But it always comes back to leading with, okay, what does your intuition say? What feels right to you? So even though that's really what the Intuitive Success Club is about, is guiding you in the process of learning to check in with yourself. And it's not as simple as it seems because we often don't want to check into our own problems, or we often get so caught up in it you can't see from the outside perspective. And that's where the club helps, is one, you connect with your intuition, but you also have support and guidance. And you get us as your intuitive success coach trainers to lead you. We have both a group coaching program and an individual private program. And so it really depends on what sort of process you want. One-on-one private coaching, of course, you're going to get dramatic results. Like, it's very focused on you every session, working through your blocks, helping you discover your goals, helping you create that vision and getting through there. And then with the group program, it's got different dynamics. You've got other people in there. You get to share your journey and you share your process. So we're all guiding you. And so someone else's problem, maybe some challenge, is something that comes up with you as well. And so you get to share this. So it's not as focused on you, but then you get the journey with a group of people. And it's funny, I never thought I would do any group coaching programs because I've actually been in some coaching programs that just left me feeling like they didn't live up to their needs. But that's reason why we're so focused on having maximum of 10 people in the coaching program, because we want to get the private feel to go with the group coaching. And there's never going to be more than that, because you need the time with us as well. But with the group, you get more experience, you get more stories, you get more to go with the process. And so that's what's really cool, is where I guess the biggest announcement is, one, we're working together, and two, there's the group club program. And all of these tie into the intuitive child and One Heart Global. And you've probably heard about that. The intuitive child is also a group of class, a training or a course targeted at children, helping connect them to their intuition. And this is so important because a lot of what we're working on as adults is clearing blocks, clearing limiting beliefs, opening up the path to your highest and best self. And a lot of those are things we developed as children. no fault to our parents or anyone around us. It's just we develop these beliefs. But if we teach them young how to continue to listen to their intuition, because we start naturally, and then society sort of blocks that off. But if we teach them how to continue listening and actively connect, think of the world we'll create as these young children become adults as well. And that's really the heart of it, is how can we further and fulfill other people's lives, and especially helping orphans who don't have the same just resources and family support in life. And that's where the orphanage in Ecuador comes in as well. Yes. So, Angela, yeah, it's really important because I think society is so focused on teaching kids how to go through school and how to memorize things and how to study. And it's training you to do a system. Whereas there's so many life skills we don't learn: how to manage money, how to stay positive, how to have relationships. It's just sort of assumed you'll learn it in school. But what if we were actively about that? Hey, connect to your intuition. Does it feel good to have this friend? Maybe you need to find another friend. Like, all of these things can help all areas of their life. I could think back to when I was a kid. I was so shy, and so many things that I know now. I'm like, I wish I could have taught my younger self that. So it's like, okay, when I have kids, I'll teach them that. But through the intuitive child, we get to teach them that. And so that's the intuitive child, which is so valuable as a parent. I highly recommend it for your kids. But then One Heart Global is the nonprofit focused on developing a retreat center that supports the orphanage in Ecuador that we've been talking about. And so they've been, Casa Hogar has been on several of the lives, has been on, and many of these conversations too. And so that's really full circle. The Intuitive Success Club is helping adults connect to their intuition, live your best life. It also supports the intuitive child, which also supports One Heart Global and the orphanage in Ecuador. And so it really is just about connecting to your intuition, being rooted in love, connected in love, and living your best life. Pretty much my personal model that I share with clients and teach them to learn is, what's the best that could happen? And whatever happened was the best possible. So how can you look forward to every event as, oh, what's the best thing that can come from this? What's the most amazing thing? And so I work in the process of working with intuition. I also help clients. I focus on mindset and creating habits that make your success inevitable. So figuring out those neural pathways in your brain. So I combine energy and neuroscience as well. So in addition to connecting you to your intuition and guiding you along that path, I also look at, how do you make memories? How do you make habits? What's the process of changing those habits? How do you define your goals? How do you pick this big picture goal that you don't know where to start on? And how do we break it down each day so that every day you're working on something towards that goal? And it's easy. I want it to be easy and fun and effortless. And it takes time to get to the process that it becomes that. But that's the whole journey of learning and coaching together, and how to connect to your intuition, changing your mindset, changing your habits. And then I also specialize in business owners. So then looking at, how does your business support your dream life as well? And how does that create everything that you need? And is your current lifestyle supporting your dreams and visions? Are there things you need to change? Are there things you need to declutter or drop away? So yes, what results have I seen as I've gone through the program? Biggest one is just breakthrough, finding that I really loved coaching. And I never thought I wanted to be a coach. But then I started living my dream life. I was following my intuition, living my dreams, and I was like, I have to teach other people how to do this. I have to, especially other women, how to do this, because I went from overworked, stressed out to, I also have a web and graphic and web design company, and I was in the Bay Area working like 80-hour weeks, just so stressed out working all the time. And then as I listen to my intuition, I find that life becomes easier. I'm still making money I want, but I get to travel, I get to explore. And so it's like life becomes easier and magical when you listen to your intuition. I've When I listened to my intuition, I bought my first home when I was 2012, in my 20s, found a way to make that happen. I was just like, I need to buy a house. I'm going to find out how to make it work. Buying a house in the Bay Area was not easy back then, but it all just fell into place. I've found, we've talked about this a while in the past. I just knew that my guy was waiting for me, and I felt that he was up and mend. And I connected with my now boyfriend, and that has been an amazing experience. Finding love, yes, finding love, loving where I'm living. I moved from Eugene to Mount Shasta. Was not expecting that. I just knew that it was time to move. I just felt ready. I was like, okay, where's the next place I'm going? And my intuition, I started looking at houses, and we just found this perfect house. Been repairing it, rebuilding it, so it helps me find houses, helps me start businesses, helps me buy cars, helps me travel. Listening to my intuition, I had the best trip to New Zealand last year. In March, I landed the day the first COVID case, was it last year? 2020. I landed the day the first COVID case started in New Zealand, and I was the last flight out of with Hawaiian Airlines. And it was my original scheduled. I didn't change my dates or anything, but I was the last flight out of New Zealand from Hawaiian Airlines. And just the whole trip was magical and perfect. It was like everything I wanted to do, I got to do. And then the country was shutting down behind me. Got to do like Hobbiton, got to do all the touristy things that I didn't always do when I lived there. Got to meet all the friends and family I wanted to before, not that I was spreading anything, but like before it really went into lockdown. And so it was the perfect trip, the most amazing trip. Again, just following my intuition. And one of my tips for being able to follow your intuition is just letting go. Just being like, whatever happens is for my best interest. I just trust that. I know that. And then just having fun and going in joy, making it, focusing on the positives, focusing on the fun. Even if it's a bad circumstance, how can you walk into that circumstance with the most amount of trust and love and joy as you're going into that moment? Whether it can be something awful like an illness diagnosis, another horrible event, whatever it is. When I was in New Zealand, like it could have ruined my trip to be like, oh no, COVID's here. Everything's shut down. I can't do anything. And I was pretty much like, if I get stuck here, oh well, I can work, I can go enjoy the end of summer, I can go work, I can visit more family and friends. And if I leave and I get home, then I was meant to get home. And I sort of just released it. And it's almost like release the expectations, and then you will receive what you're looking for. When you release it, when you have positive expectations, but then you release your control over it, is when things become easy and fun. When you have these expectations that you feel like you have to control, that's when you get stuck. And when you're like, you know what, I just let it go and I'll let it surprise me. And this is always a constant lesson. There are lots of things I learn in my personal life too, where I'm like, oh, I had all these expectations. And so, of course, they didn't meet up to my expectations. Things were different. I'm more upset. Whereas if I'm like, you know what? That's not in my control. If it happens, I will be happy and surprised, but I'm no longer going to notice the lack of it. It's more, I'm going to focus on the different things. I'm going to change my intention onto what I do have rather than focusing on when my expectations are not being met. I love a lot of books. Psychologists, I love The Gap and the Gain by Benjamin Hardy, because and co-authored with Dan Sullivan, because that's really the whole story or lesson is focus on what you've grown and what you've gained and what you have, rather than focusing on the things that you find are lacking and missing. Pretty much the same thing as living in love and being with your intuition. And so that's the process that when you just not submit to it, but accept it, then you can create what you want. And it almost sounds too simple, and it's not. It's simple, but it isn't always easy. There's very much, you get caught up in your own perceptions. We're so caught up in, this is what I see, this is my reality, that you almost can't believe the possibilities sometimes. So it's getting out of your own restrictions on what is here and getting back into this is what I believe, and this is what is possible, and I know that it is coming for me. So I've covered a couple things, but just want to check in if there's any questions. I'll just look in the chat quickly. Um, so yeah, Angela said since last March equinox, I've been following my intuition has turned my life around along with that one with my family, and it is, and it's almost like when you make it an intention, make it a game. Just check in, like, does it feel good right now to take a lunch break? Does it feel good right now to go for a walk? What feels good? Does today feel like a good day to do a workout? I also am a theta healer, and so I use muscle testing. I'll sometimes just be like, should I do a workout today? Is it to my highest and best to do a workout today? And sometimes I get a no, sometimes I get a yes. Sometimes my intuition was already telling me, and that's why I asked. Um, but just being able to use the tools and resources to check in. Like last night, I didn't sleep that great, but then I was able to get up at 5:30 still. So um, I'm just going with the flow today. We'll see how that affects me, but I got to get up early, have my morning routine, had a lot of space and openness to just do what I wanted in the morning. And I'm ready for the day, feeling excited and happy. And let's see what else. Results through the program, I think, are similar to just the results of connecting to my intuition. But I know that I saw the results I have in the last few years, buying multiple houses, having rental properties, taking vacations. Another example of taking a vacation was 2019. My cousin was from New Zealand, was getting married in Austria. And I was like, oh, I want to go, but I don't know if it's the right time. So I put a Google flight tracker on the flights. And like within the week, I don't even know if it was the next day, within the week, the freight prices dropped by 50%. And I was like, yep, that feels right. That's my sign. Book my flight and I'll just figure it out at the time. I'll figure out how I'm going to make it happen. I'll figure out the rest of the trip. But I need to be there and this is my sign and it just feels right. So again, just checking in with those things. Any other questions so far? I know we were talking about usually doing this for at least 30 minutes today, but I want to make sure that I'm focused on what you want to hear, whether it's intuition, mindset, overcoming beliefs. So yes, can we talk about the people who help, the people we help and who we work with? So it comes down to, we work with people who are, I'd say, intuitive in different levels. They may be like where I was, where I knew I had my intuition, but I wasn't always listening to it, all the way to you're following your intuition, but you just need that next step. So someone who wants that stronger connection, or maybe isn't happy. They want to find what it is that brings them, they want to bring what brings them joy into their life, and they're having trouble either manifesting it, they're having trouble connecting fully to their dreams and seeing it before it happens. They are, for me specifically, I work with a lot of high achievers, people who maybe are seeing a lot of success in business, but they don't feel like it's their soul purpose and their heart connection. And they're trying to find that next thing. It's like, okay, this is really successful, but now what? I've lost my inspiration, or I feel like I've got something bigger I'm meant to do, but I don't know how to do it. I love working with women. We work with men too, but I love women because there's so much in female empowerment, so much in feminine and masculine energy, so much in just listening to and understanding ourselves in such a masculine society. And then really those who just want to explore living in purpose, living their heart's desires, living to their fullest and best, and being able to trust themselves. And maybe it means you need to listen to your intuition more. Maybe it means you need more of that guidance and direction on how to follow the advice that your intuition is giving you. So there's people in all sorts of different processes. I have one client who she's like, I don't need to grow this year. She's like, I want to stay in play. I want to sort of maintain. And I was like, oh, you want to build your roots. You're not trying to grow out and build your leaves and branches. You're trying to build your roots and strengthen that. And so there's all different ways of growth. Doesn't always mean getting a bigger, more successful life. Sometimes it means creating more where you are now. So another question, can you talk about joy and fulfillment you have found in following your intuition because it's the voice of your soul? I think the best way to say that is it's just magical. You just have so much fun. I guess I've said it, but not in that way. But everything I'm doing, I have fun. I love working on this house that I've got that we just bought at the end of last year, fixing that up, making that fun and creative. And all of the process, like stripping off the old boards and painting it, because it's part of my dream of having these houses and having these rental properties. But I'm also multidimensional, which a lot of us are. Like, I like having a design business. I like having a coaching business. I like empowering people and helping them live their best life. And then I love travel and adventure. So pretty much it's helped me get away from the limitations my mind had set on me before. And it's given me freedom. And that is the ultimate for me, is freedom. Freedom of time and money. Freedom to spend my days the way I want to. Freedom to, like, I get up at 5:30 in the morning so that I have freedom of time to do what I want until I start working with clients. But that's my choice and I choose it and I love it because I choose it and it's my freedom. It's freedom because I'm doing the things I love to do. I'm with the people I love. I get to make plans that I love. So it really comes down to love and joy and having more of that in all aspects of your life. It's living your best life. And so if that's something you're interested in, we offer a free or an intro intuitive success coaching focus session that you can then explore some of these things. And it gets you focused on what you're looking for, what your dreams are, and what next steps you can take as well. You can join the Intuitive Success Club at www.theintuitivesuccessclub.com and email us at success@lifeforceconnection.com. And you can also find me on my website, Alyssa Williamson, ALYSSA, WILLIAMSON.com, to just learn more about me, and lifeforceconnection.com. And it's in the chat as well. So really it comes down to, you get to make the choice. What is it you want to have in your life? And are you creating that at the moment? Maybe there's some resistances and blocks that you just need to work through. Maybe there's just that one little tweak and you get to that next level. Because always, that's what life is. It's really like leveling up. And there's always going to be new layers, and new things to unravel, and new challenges and new successes. So is that something that maybe you've been feeling stuck? Or maybe you're just excited and ready for the next thing and want some guidance? Or maybe you know there's more. Our clients reach out to us because they know they're called to us. That's the awesome thing about being an intuitive success coach, is we know all of our clients came to us for a reason, and they have everything within them that we're helping them find. And it's just so cool and so powerful to be able to have that ability and just have that trust and breathe that belief into you. And sometimes that's really what coaching is about. It's just breathing belief and having the accountability to follow through on your dreams and make them happen. And you know what? So many things can change in a year. So many things can change in a month. I've had clients that we're working with for 2-3 months and had hit their year-end goals or hit their 5-year goal just because they needed those few little tweaks, and then everything they had started to fall into place. So that's what happens. So I say it's magical. When you follow your intuition, things just come easier, things just flow, and when you stay in that flow. And that's really a part of the process too, is learning how to stay in that flow. We're all going to get kicked out, but then how do you get back into that flow? So we would love for you to book a free intuitive success coaching focus session and really get clarity on your goals and next steps, how to take action on them, and where that goes from here. So I had so much fun talking to you today. I hope this has been great. I'll leave it for just a minute or two. If there's any last questions or topics you want me to cover. And the other thing is we also have, if you're not quite ready to reach out and you just want to sort of get a taste of it, there's a 30-day intuition challenge that you can sign up for. And so it's 30 days of connecting to your intuition and really starting that step and those steps in that process on your own. So comment in the chats below. It's also you can sign up at followingyourintuition.com. And that's where you can find the 30-day video series. And it's really, I recommend it no matter what, but I would also say just reach out and book an intuitive focus session. It's so powerful. You're going to walk away with so much information. And we love just talking and chatting. And whether you're a client now, whether you just need some advice and tips, and whatever our relationship is, it's just so much fun to connect from the heart and connect in the intuition. So once again, go to lifeforceconnection.com where you can book a free intuitive coaching session, focus session, or followingyourintuition.com where it's the 30-day manifesting challenge. So I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week. Thanks for joining in today, whether it's live or you're watching the replay. If you are watching the replay, just put hashtag replay in so that we can know to check in on your comments as well. And have an amazing week. The way you start your day is how it affects your week. The way you have your week affects your month, which affects your year. So today is a powerful day. You've started it off powerfully, and you are going to create an amazing, amazing life. Thank you so much.